My name is Peter Ben. I'm currently incarcerated at MCI Concord, Massachusetts State Prison. Now, I want to talk to you about a subject that I believe is important to me. That's ending prison sentence of life without parole. So, I want everybody to just imagine waking up to something you hate every day. Imagine never having any privacy, but never being able to eat your favorite food. Imagine having to live in a 6x10 bathroom. Imagine never being able to enjoy the milestones of your loved ones. Imagine having to deal with these scenarios for the rest of your life. In the book Dante's Inferno, he describes a similar situation where one of the stages of hell is a place where you're tortured by the thoughts and the images of the things, the people, and the events you once loved, but you're never able to touch it or enjoy it. Today, I will be talking to you about what some consider a form of hell. I will be talking to you about life sentences without parole and why we should end these sentences. Now, this is an important subject to me because I am serving a natural life sentence for a crime I did not commit and for a life I did not take. So I know how easy it is in this state to be sentenced to life without parole due to certain laws. Now, this topic should matter to all of us because it's been a growing trend in America to imprison people and to imprison them to life sentences. According to the Harvard Political Review, America is the world leader of incarceration, with the most prisons on the planet. America has the most people serving life sentences than the entire prison population of Denmark. So this is a topic that's part of a bigger picture, which is prison reform. The way we are incarcerating people affects our community mentally and financially. So today, I want to tell you why we should end these life sentences with parole by explaining how easy it is to be convicted to life without parole. I explain to you why people who are serving life sentences should be released and what I think justice means to me. So, life without parole can be imposed on individuals who never took a life. Under Massachusetts felony murder joint venture law, it allows individuals to be sentenced to natural life without the evidence that person intended to cause any harm. For example, they could be outside waiting for an individual, not knowing that individual is committing a crime, or even just providing an item using the crime but remain at home. Under this law, if a person does anything that the state considers as an act to further a criminal enterprise, that person is liable to be sentenced to life without parole. The New England Innocence Project states this law disproportionately affects people of color. The state and law enforcement have commonly labeled people of color as gang members, even if they may not be. When law enforcement see a group of people of color wearing the same baseball cap, they are considered gang members. But when law enforcement see people who are not of color wearing the same baseball cap, they're just baseball fans. When a person is labeled a gang member, the bar is set even lower for the state to convict someone to life without parole, because the state looks at anything a gang member does as an act of furthering a criminal enterprise. For example, if a person labeled a gang member answers a phone call that may be from a person who committed a crime of murder, the state can assume because you're labeled a gang member, you answer that phone call, you may help that person and you are liable to be sentenced to life without parole, even if that call had nothing to do with the crime. This commonly happens to people of color. Now, in 2012, Massachusetts passed House Bill 4286 that gives a three-strike penalty that can sentence individuals to life without parole for crimes that do not involve murder. It makes 20 eligible crimes and repeated offenders eligible to be sentenced to natural life. I bring up these scenarios because I believe no one deserves to die in prison for harsh crimes, and no one deserves to die in prison for someone else's actions. Now, why should we give lifers a second chance? Why should we release them to the community? The cost of housing prisoners is high and is affecting taxpayer dollars. According to the Vera Institute, it costs $50,000 per year to keep a person incarcerated in Massachusetts, and the cost can rise up to $140,000 per year for an elderly person. In Massachusetts, there are over 10,000 people incarcerated, which means in this state alone, we are spending over $500 million to keep people in prison, when this can go to prison reform, where it can help people get mental health assistance, programs, and education that lower recidivism rates. Now, there's this misconception that lifers are the most violent people in prison, and they're likely to reoffend because they have this nothing-to-lose mentality. That theory is completely wrong. A number of studies have shown people convicted to life are unlikely to recommit crimes, and misconduct is low compared to non-life prisoners. Many prisons across the country, prison officials frequently call on people who are serving life sentences to be mentors. The father program here at NCI Concord, almost every mentor in that program is a person serving life. In another scenario, in 2012 in Maryland, over 100 people who were serving life sentences were set free because of this due process violation in their case. And until this day, not one of them have returned to prison. In Massachusetts, we know lifers would not reoffend. Now, how do we know this? But Massachusetts passed a law that ended life without parole. But anyone who was charged with first-degree murder under the age of 18, the parole board was able to see many people who thought they would spend the rest of their lives in prison. People who had served 20, 30, 40 years, had completed every DOC program, and some had even earned a college degree before this law had passed. The parole board asked these individuals why. Why did they do these programs, knowing that they may never be able to use their skills in society? One of the men who was up for parole answered, "Although I thought I was never coming home, I still had some hope, and I wanted to become a better person for myself, for my family, for the mistakes I made in the past." According to HarvardPolitical.com, prisoners who participate in education have a 43% lower chance of reincarceration. They say that every dollar spent on prison education saves the government $4 to $5 on reincarceration. I wish all of you out there could see the classrooms that we have here in this prison. Many of us there are lifers who can, including myself, live by that misconception of what society thinks of us. But I believe we are all in that prison classroom for a reason. We all believe that our lives still have meaning. Lastly, I want to tell you what justice means to me. I know in free society, justice usually means sending someone away for however long. I do not believe justice should be an eye for an eye solution. And I do not believe justice is knowing that someone and their family is suffering for however long. And I know I don't have any right to tell a victim of crime how to cope with their loss. But what I can say from a person who is in prison, I believe justice is to be able to face the ones you hurt and make reconciliation and forgiveness. There's a program here called Restorative Justice, where people in prison meet victims of crime to find a place where they can reconcile and help the one they hurt heal. I know for many people that is a lot to ask for, but I hope we can all be open to these ideas, because people who served a long time are eager to make things right, are eager for forgiveness, they're eager to earn and demonstrate their capacity to contribute in a positive way to society. So I'd like to end the speech with a quote from Mike Mendoza, who was a former lifer. Quote, "We are not convicts or ex-convicts. We are not felons. We are not inmates. We are people who have a way to give back." Thank you.